Hey, what's up? Where is the New York real estate market going? Hmm, I don't know. This pandemic has caused a lot of problems in the New York real estate market. Um, I personally know quite a few families that were, excuse me, living in Manhattan. And in Manhattan, we all know it has the highest real estate property cost anywhere. And we all know, anyone who at least has been to New York or lives in the tri-state area, that an apartment in Manhattan costs you upwards of $1 million. In this apartment, you'll be lucky to get two bedrooms, maybe three. That would be well over $1 million. And you don't get much for the cost of your money. You might get an outdoor space, possibly. You might get some exposed brick. And when I say an outdoor space, that's going to be communal. That's going to be a shared outdoor space with other people. So we all know that this is nothing to be bragging about. If you lived elsewhere in the country, you'd be considered living almost poor. Not to mention that when you walk downstairs in your apartment, although you live in a nice area, a beautiful area, lots of bars, lots of stores, lots of access to public transportation, the subway. Your job probably isn't that far away. Chances are you probably work in Manhattan, although I know quite a few people that live in Manhattan that don't work there. But in most cases, I'm sure you do. Most of your money, unless you're very wealthy, is going towards your rent or going towards your mortgage payment. And don't forget, the co-op costs are extraordinary in Manhattan. I mean, very expensive. So these are the different variables that exist in Manhattan. Now, enter the pandemic, where you have people, not only the bar hopper, young people, or a lot of them are older actually, that go out to bars, and their reasoning and their justification for paying high cost rent or buying property there is that they live in the bubble, as my friend once used to say. My one-time friend used to say, being in the bubble means you have access to networking with lots of high high status folks, people from all over the world, record executives, banking executives, real estate executives, et cetera, et cetera. And by living in the bubble in Manhattan, this is at your ready disposal. But if you're one of those people that have a family that live in Manhattan, this pandemic has been a bitch. And I'll tell you why. How do you stay in a three-bedroom or a two-bedroom or a one-bedroom apartment with kids and you can't fucking leave to go to the park? The parks were closed, mind you, for quite a while. Yeah, you could fucking take the kids on their tricycles or bicycles through certain parks, such as Central Park, so they can get a little exercise, move around a little bit. But they couldn't go to the playground, and we all know young children love playgrounds. They love those places. And adults love those places too, because they get to sit back and relax and let their kids play, hopefully by themselves. They will include you in on the playing. Sometimes they do. My kids always want me to play with them, which I enjoy doing, but sometimes I do like to just sit in the park and feed the squirrels. Anyways, this is the situation now. So where would this lead our New York real estate market? Will people from Manhattan leave and buy homes in New Jersey and upstate Long Island? That's what an article I read in the Wall Street Journal is alluding to. They think that these these very wealthy people who are financially able to buy a house in cash will just do that and are doing that in northern suburbs, Westchester, etc., certain parts of New Jersey, Connecticut. I live in Long Island, and I'm wondering how it will affect me. I don't think a person from Manhattan will want to buy my home, especially one who's able to buy a home in cash. Probably not in their league. My home is not much more modest than they probably would. If they want to spend over $1 million, they're probably gonna not gonna buy my home. First, it wouldn't cost $1 million. Secondly, they would probably find something a lot more luxurious, so to speak. See, here in Long Island, the parks were also closed, but kids had more access to playgrounds because a lot of families have swing sets and such in their backyard. It's just a lot more kicked back for kids, a lot more outdoor things to do. You're not stuck in a major city. Uh, these towns are smaller. You can walk the streets. You could ride your bike in the streets. You can get more exercise, and you don't have to be up each other's tuchus like you would be if you had to live in a two-bedroom apartment with kids. So that's one aspect, and I'm sure that a lot of these Manhattan social crats or social elites will be leaving. Now, what about those poor bastards that live in Queens? What about those poor bastards that live in Brooklyn? Are they going to be leaving? I know they're not as wealthy, but will they be coming to Long Island? Will they be coming to Connecticut? Will they be buying houses in New Jersey? This is something that we have to discuss and see, because if that's the case, this new Long Island housing market is going to take a turn upwards. It already has to some degree, but we're talking a big turn upwards once this first leg of the pandemic appears to be over. It does appear the restrictions are lifted. However, the news is inundating us with fear of a possible second wave. How is that going to affect the Long Island real estate market? I care about these things because I want to sell my house one day and I hopefully sell it for as much as I can. I've had no luck in real estate to this date. So I would like to know, I'd like some feedback from anybody who's more um, skilled or more knowledgeable about the New York real estate market. I'm just kind of a novice from the outside looking in. But my feeling is people in the city are going to look to leave. And when I say the city, I mean all of the boroughs. And I'm hoping that it will increase the real estate market here in Long Island as well as other suburbs. And I hope that New York City becomes more affordable again, especially for those who are forced to live there, who have to live there, who can't afford to move. I see that rent is going down quite a bit in the city. I get emails from Zillow and Street Easy, etc., and I see that the real estate rental market in New York City is going down, which is a great thing. And for so long, the poor had to endure such expensive rental costs, which I think is just incredibly unfair, you know, because the job market for a low income working class person certainly hadn't justified such an expense. And so hopefully more people will be able to afford their apartments and be able to move, get rent stabilized, rent control apartments that are more within their budget. But let me know what you think. Love to hear your feedback. Anybody in the area or anybody out of the area, please let me know. Peace.